Hey, welcome. It's around 10:15, no, 10:19, so we are in time, on time. That's how it works with on time with us. Now we will get better, right? More punctual and stuff. All right, I invited pretty much everyone I could get hold of into this room, and actually it's the only time I'll ever see it be remotely filled, I promise you, for the rest of the semester. So many of you are cloud students, is that correct? Okay, cloud. Ah, cool. One. The email thing. How many of you had looked at your email and found that you were invited for this session? Cool. Yeah, two. Okay, you definitely get a bonus mark. Good. There you go. Okay, you should have been opportunistic. Anyway, so rapid prototyping. And so first of all, for the cloud people, why am I inviting you? This course is the odd one out. Even if you haven't signed up yet for this course, we can already take it. And we'll tell you why and how that kind of works, right? So it has been the past few years, but the idea is that we want to get you on board as early as possible. So even, if you don't plan to do it so immediately, at least it's kind of on your radar. It's very important. So who am I? My name is Christopher Franz. I'll be teaching in cloud, I guess. What else? I think cloud will do, and some stuff on the master's level. You'll see me more there. I'm sitting in A205, part of the computer science department. If there's anything else you want to know, ask me or send me emails. I'll answer at least some stage. So rapid prototyping is one of our, kind of not cross-disciplinary, cross-disciplinary anyway, but kind of the course is pretty odd one out. And the idea is here in this course is that you entrench your skills in terms of independently exploring and trying out stuff. Well, software stuff mostly, right? So developing software, trying out tools, learning to use them. That's the idea. So whereas you're probably used to more conventional lecture-style sessions where you have a lecture followed by labs and probably assignments and projects and group activity, here that's quite different. We only give you one thing, and that's a topic, basically. And your task is then, in 48 hours, to do something with it in software. Right, so realize it. So it's both a creativity process, but also trying out certain, technology that you haven't looked at, or use technology you actually know. What's the purpose of this exercise? Well, it's aligned with the notion of game jams. You guys have heard about those before, or seen? Yes. Who hasn't? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So game jam. What's the idea? Anyone else? Who knows what a game jam is? First row, please.
You have a set amount of time to make a game, usually a day, maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Cool. So that's right. So basically, you have 2 days to do something, right? So and yes, while games is generally the traditional approach of doing so, it's more open up anyway. But I think this whole notion of jams, hackathons and so on, has extended quite a bit into pretty much all areas of expertise in terms of being security, creativity, like designers do that, but also application development. So whether you are focusing on application development or games development, it doesn't matter, right? So you can also develop an application in that time frame. And our time frame is usually 48 hours, or longer if you want. And the idea is that you develop something for a given topic, and you basically present it to class. That's the annoying bit, right? So you actually need to stand up here and actually talk to people. How annoying is that? Worst of all, that's not the last bit. Then you go back again and you write a report about it. Not too long, but it's more like a reflection report that tells you, what is good, what went bad, what went ugly. And why do we do that? Why do we have you write reports?
This is supposed to learn when you write down what you learned and what you did, so it's show that you understood.
Good. So what are you learning about when writing a report?
You learn how to report about what you have done, while you're programming, you learn to quickly make something out of nothing. If you want to prototype, for example.
Yeah. So are you learning something about technology, or what are you really learning about doing that?
Learning about how to report.
Yeah, how do you report? Yep.
You get into the habit of documenting your work.
Also good, yeah, documentation, right? So always valuable asset. Anything else? Yep.
You learn your own weaknesses and strengths.
Correct, right? You learn about yourself. It's a meta kind of cognitive skill in a way. First of all, you know what you can do well, what you can't do well, and you may want to improve of. But also, very practical things. If you're working in a software development team, the classic thing that we always get wrong is scoping. Right? We over or underestimate our skills, usually underestimate, right? So, well time-wise, we are overestimating our abilities to, satisfy certain requirements within a given time constraint. So, and that's the idea, to get it right. So, if you have 48 hours, you need to plan what you plan to do in those 48 hours. It depends on how familiar you are with a given tech, how much you want to explore new tech, and so on. That defines how much you actually get done, right? And closing this gap between what you promise to do and actually get done, that's part of this course, that you learn how to do this properly, right? So, and of course you get it wrong, that's fine. You get probably wrong the whole course, but that's okay. It's just one course in the degree, and that's not tragic. We are very used to that anyway. And if you're nice to us, we will forgive you. No, it's all right. So the point is not to get it right. The point is to learn about yourself, right? Exactly as you highlighted. And that's particularly important, well, beyond university anyway, but even within university for the bachelor. Why? Anyone? Why is that important?
Because if you, on the bachelor, think you miss the mark and think you can make twice as much as you actually can, that can end horribly.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right, exactly. So the bachelor is a bit more on you in a sense that you decide what you want to do, you promise something, project plan, you do something, you realize, oops, there's a delta, right? So it didn't quite work out. So then we need to think about, okay, how does that, factor into your mark? Plus, we're not giving you the marks internally. We actually have external people coming in giving you marks in part. So, we have limited control about this. So they say, they did a really good job, but they got the scoping wrong. Part of their professionalism is to be able to scope work. That's it, absolutely right. So in this course, it's kind of grooming you into this habit to think about, okay, how much can I get actually done? So the other aspect of the course is teamwork. Yeah, the most annoying bit on the planet, as you will learn, or have already learned, who knows? No, the most useful thing as well. Teamwork has its ups and downs, right? So, and pros and cons, of course, but we want you to get in the habit to actually, try that out. And of course, you have projects in other classes, but sometimes it's a bit too much framed by the course you're actually participating in, because you only see students that, for example, do games or do apps and so on. But it's also good to mix and mingle, right? So to actually get some people in that you haven't been dealing with, or actually completely disregard their background, but just want to, cooperate in a given setting. And the purpose of this course is also to make this happen, to kind of be open and try to work with other people of different backgrounds and so on, like in terms of, study and so on. And that's the idea. So in this course, what are you going to do? So I'm trying to present the course here, but actually the person that has better oversight is actually Jona. Jona is our teaching assistant, please. Hiya. So he will help us, and he'll fix any statement I will make, because I'll probably get it wrong anyway. So Jona has just completed Bachelor, so he's just hanging out here. Mostly. Yeah, mostly. And he will assist us in... how do you assist us? What do you think?
I'll answer whatever questions you have, help you set up OBS for streaming, and maybe help you get ideas along for what you can do for a jam. If you have any difficulties during a jam, feel free to message me. I'll try to be as available as possible during jams. So if you have any questions about, I'm struggling with this error, and Christopher is unavailable, and you can send me a message, and I'll try to help you.
That's right. That's exactly. I think you may also keep an eye on game jams and so on that come up externally, so people can, we post them on our wiki. So we have a little wiki, we show it in a second, where new games, just a second, are going to be posted, because you're not only required to take game jams that are hosted locally, but you can also participate in external events. In fact, we encourage you to. First of all, it's less work for us, number one. No, that's not the reason. But well, perhaps it is, but the second one, and more important one, is actually you deal with people you don't know, because even within this cluster, we kind of know each other-ish, right? Somewhat. So we want to kind of expose you as much as possible. Please.
Where do you see the previous emissions of past? I've had one so far, but
at the end of the semester, no. So that's a bit messy. The course is continuous in a sense. It's kind of a rolling concept. We have students here. We had for the first year. I'm not sure if there's anyone from first year here. First year students. So sad. Okay, second year and third year students in this course. In fact, until they are done with this course, because otherwise they won't pass the bachelor. Surprise, surprise. So the hens do it early. And at the end of each semester, I'll send around a PDF with some sort of identifier and the number of jams that I have registered as part for you. And if you have done one last semester, you should have received that email. Else, you can just come to my desk later on and we can just check it out and see where you stand.
Yeah, because I did one last time and it seems to be good enough that it's probably should pass.
Well, okay, then if you have delivered the report and you have registered it as a jam, then it should be a pass. We'll figure that out later. Yeah, let's take it offline. Good. So that's the idea. So what are the conditions? We need to pass 3 jams, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, confirmed. Okay, 3 jams. One of which is individual. So you get a topic, you need to do it on your own. Not good, right? Yeah. And there's one of them which needs to be done in a group. So you get a topic, you need to do it with other people. Also not. You know, so you can take your bets there. So, so one jam needs to be run alone, one in a group, and one whatever configuration you like. So 3 jams in total, but we want to cover all our bases, right? That you doing group work and that you do individual work, because it's both. You want to learn how to, scope within a group setting. You want to learn how to scope individually and develop your skills. And one either way you prefer or fits your needs and so on. The 3rd jam is often reserved for external events because you never know how you end up and which kind of event you pick. So we kind of leave ourselves the flexibility there. So in the past, we have 2 concepts. We actually run those jams on weekends. My wife doesn't like this, but the reason is most of the rooms here are actually free. And we know that you don't have any teaching or rather, learning obligations in a wide sense, right? There's no lectures on the weekends, so we don't need to work around your schedule, and you don't need to work around mine or whatever else, so it's the weekend. So the idea is usually that on Fridays we meet, then you get a topic. We have 45 minutes or so for ideation, where you actually shape ideas around this topic that you want to realize, and then you're off to go, 48 hours, good luck. You stream what you do, usually on Discord, or what other means do we allow?
What, streams or Discord?
We stream via Discord, right? Or what else can we?
Either YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah.
I guess there's other streaming platforms, but you install OBS on your computer, then you stream whatever monitor you'll be programming on, so that, and you have a microphone so people can hear what you're saying, and then lecturers and me and anyone else who want to can go and look at what you're doing.
Scary stuff. The most important is to switch it off after you're done. So, but anyway, so that's the idea, right? So we can kind of recap and also see that you actually do the work, see the continuum to some extent. We won't really stalk you in a way, but it's sometimes just a sanity check. Is anyone doing that stuff in the first place? Yeah.
With the group assignment, then does every individual stream their own part of it?
Yeah, that's tricky. I mean, in the past we kind of mostly focus on the active person, like who's actually doing the coding. I mean, we will. I think both ways. We will probably not be hard on that one. So it's probably if you think one individual is responsible for collating all the individual aspects. For example, you have design on board, you have some sort of other people preparing assets, and someone doing the coding or bringing everything together. I think that person will probably stream, but we'll probably be loose on that one. So we kind of leave it at your discretion as a group to say, hey, what's probably the most sensible desktop to stream here? Yeah. So that's a good point, though. Thank you. Yep, that's right. So please.
How about external events?
Yeah, tough. Ideally, yes. Ideally, yes, really, but sometimes it's not possible. Then we need to talk about it. In fact, if you have internal events, you want to run them, run it by us. Ideally, using the issue tracker. I'll get to that in a second. And then we could say yay or nay. Well, mostly we say yay because the requirements are basically: is it some game jam or hackathon-like format, and does it run at least 48 hours? That's the determinant. And then you can just register them and run them. So sometimes you won't have the opportunity to stream. Okay, well, we'll survive, right? Because you have some other jams that you're going to do.
Do we still allow suggesting others?
Yes.
Like your own ideas?
That's right. That's very good. Thank you, Jona. Yes. That's why you're here. Before I forget, exactly. Jona reminded me, what we do, or lately did quite a bit, is that people can actually suggest their own ideas and run their own solo jams. Because if you run your jam alone, well, why not just have a topic ready as well? And the idea is not to, in a sense, oh, let's pick the topic so I can, cheat and work ahead of time. That's not the point. The point is more usually about skill development. So if you have, oh, I want to do something with that new tech, or I have a pet project and I want to extend this feature, right? Or I'm working in some sort of other project and I want to try out something that's related to it.
And if you're clever, you'll also try and mix another project in school with the rapid
that's
game
extremely
jam.
unclever. So
No, that's very clever because then you get to
don't do that. Right. So what? I'm moderating this here. So that was yes. You wouldn't want to have synergies because you get 5 ACTS for this course, I think. So you actually not allowed to do double dipping, right? You can't just use any submission you have developed here and use it elsewhere. But what you can do is, if you have something in, say, web development, right, and you kind of on track with your group there, working on your project, you want to try out some other tech, right, that does the same thing, or at least like a proof of concept, doesn't work for us, right? Then you can do this in this course, and then, of course, feed that back into your actual course. But it's not like you do the project here and there and then get marks in both of them, right? So it's not going to work. But also we did it for the Bachelor, for example. If you're in 3rd year and you're desperate because you need to get your Bachelor done, that sometimes people are allowed to actually explore features in their Bachelor, right? So, okay, can we use this particular Unity feature to solve our problem better than we have the road we have gone down so far? More like an exploration. We allow this as well, but you need to be upfront with this and tell us.
There are going to be more jams in the start of the semester than the last time, because last time you had a lot in the end where people are busy, but not a lot in the start where people aren't busy.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll try to make that happen, to have some more in the start. Kind of for a bit the season sometimes. In summer it's a bit more external events, so we kind of are reminded by that. Oh, Dan, yes, we need to provide some jams. Yes, okay, so we need to make that a more regular exercise, I agree. Bear in mind though, you still run, if you haven't solved, the solo jams as well, right? And there is one note from the back. Oh yeah, that's the important part. Very good, very good. Are you under time pressure? Do you have a class at 11? Yes, they will. Because they should see the outcome. And for you it's perfect because you have the full class to yourself. How exciting the first day, isn't it? So the question there in the back was, can we present today? And the issue is, those guys actually did a jam over the summer, or one, how many? One jam over the summer actually, right? So we allow that as well. If you're, Christmas time and so on, you don't know really what to do, like most people, then, why not use the opportunity to make it solo jam, right? Or do it with your family as a group jam, please.
If we meet on Fridays to get our topics, what is this day?
Yes, exactly. What is the meaning of this day? Well, we actually technically don't really meet on this day, so it's more like an initial exception. What we need for this on this day, however, is if we had to run a jam. So if we run a jam on Friday on the weekend, then on Monday, this is the opportunity to present your jam. That's precisely what they plan to do here. That's why they come in and say, hey, we want to get, a tick box for that jam, we want to present it to class. And that's where we expect everyone to show up again to actually see what other people have done, whether or not you participated in the jam. So we encourage you, because it's also an opportunity for you to ask questions, to learn something, but also to see how it's done, how other people actually do it. Right? So it's kind of a give and take. Before we get to the actual jam, meaning there will be an actual jam, I'll point you to the resource of relevance. Keep an eye on this thing. So we changed the URL from Prod 3. Anyone who has been in the past and used GitLab in any of our courses? Yes, some of you, like graphics and so on, right? So it was always prod3.hig and so on. Now it has changed the actual code. So it's hig. I have no clue.
GVK dot IDI
Yeah.
dot NTNU dot NO.
Thank you very much. Oh, and then slash what do you have?
Course
Oh, yeah.
slash IMT
Yeah.
2581.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, I
it.
guess.
That's where you need to end up. So, and HTTPS now, for anyone who has seen the wiki before, you may have noticed for the past week that it was only HTTP. So now we got our end together.
That's good.
Sorry?
That's good.
That's good, right? So I think it's good as well, especially since there's a lot of personal information. So the idea is git Jörvik ntnu.no, right? So they kind of changed the scheme because we are integrated with Trondheim, so they may have a wiki as well. and then course. So all your courses are under the course label. That applies to many of the other courses we teach as well, such as cloud. So if you remember this URL, you can construct the one for cloud already. IMT2581, that's the course code for rapid prototyping. So if you check IMT2581, NTNU on Google, you come to that, not to this page, but to the actual course descriptor that you most likely have read. And then there's the wikis and so on. And they end up here. And there's first of all the big picture page, which kind of gives you the rule of the game. It basically says exactly what I've said right now. We may fix it if we get something wrong. Rules of the game, what you're supposed to do. And also here's the template for the report, right? So the report you're going to do at the end of the gem looks something like this. So you have a project overview, a title, the group that has participated, the tech you use, platform and so on, installation instructions, potentially brief description, then describe the contribution of individuals, you know, who did what or didn't, and then reflection, the good, the bad, the ugly. So basically just, you know, what ideas you have realized, what decisions were good, which decisions were not so good, and where things really went sideways, right? So that's fine as well. This report again is linked from the rapid prototyping page, and has been developed by Simon McCallum, who conceptualized this course a few hundred years ago. So, good. On the other thing that we want to highlight there is the submission aspect. There is a dedicated submissions page, which I will clean up, but I wanted to keep it because we have still some gems to wrap up. The idea is that we submit in this way. Language submission system. That's also good. You can use the submission system for this course in the future.
Oh, sure.
We'll talk about this. But in principle, you need to edit the wiki. You will gain access to the wiki. By the way, if you open the site, you can't really see or access anything. You can request access, and I will add you as a developer so you can actually modify everything there. Of course, be nice. There's also version history. If I see you modifying the rules of the game, then you know, then or not. But you can modify the submissions page and add actually your submission, right? So the idea is to indicate which gem you have been participating, the group name you have been working under, your student names and NTNU logins. Yeah, I need to get those right, otherwise I will give you, you know, I can't find you in the system and I can't tick off that you have done a gem, right? It's very important to get that right. Then the code repository, and of course the link to the report. You can write in Google Docs and just link it or something like this. We like the linking conception, so there's no explicit upload notion there, because it's still in your domain, you control it, but you give us a link and then we're happy. And it looks something like this.
Just make sure the link is public.
Yes, yeah, the link needs to be public, otherwise we have a problem, right? So, and following up at the end of the semester is a bit of a nightmare. So, good point. Yeah. And it's quite straightforward, right? So if you guys know Markdown, or if you don't know it yet, you will learn it after this course, promise you. So also, if you edit the wiki, use the preview function, because you know, if you get it wrong, you can still fix it until you're done. So let's see. Who's not comfortable with Markdown at all? Who has no clue what Markdown means or is? Cool. Yeah. So if you write wikis, right? So like Wikipedia and the like, the idea is how they edit it is that they use some sort of human readable code with some formatting instruction to generate complex documents, relatively complex documents such as tables with entries and so on. And for this, they use a fixed syntax, which is intentionally made a lot easier. You guys may have seen HTML, and you can modify, you know, write your own tables with TR and, you know, table headers and table data fields. So there's a lot of syntax you need to be dealing with. And here it's a lot simplified. For example, here's the submission table you just saw. This here signifies that it's to be bold, right? So that's the top level section font formatting, and then that there's the first column called gem, again with bold letters, I believe. Group name, members, and so on. And then there's some sort of line break, there's a line in between, and then you can actually add your entries. And your task is, as far as that goes, just to copy paste one of those entries, change them, and see that it actually works out. And then if you're concerned as to what actually works, well, check for Markdown syntax for GitLab. GitLab is the solution we're using, and we use that in most courses. And there's a big documentation page of how to embed pictures you want to, not here of course, but in general, how to change tables, how to, you know, any sort of structure you can think about. You want to have lists, nested lists, any concept you know from your favorite word editing software. And that's how we do it here. So it's kind of a bit involved in tech, but I think you guys should be more than able to do that. So we trust you. And the last year we didn't have any problems, worked brilliantly. So we stick to that idea, right? So it's just that you need to be signed up and then you can add your own gems. I clean this up a bit because there's no need to keep all the old entries there if they're worked off. Final thing, issues. So we'll communicate a lot over issues, right? We have a Discord channel for IMT2581, of course, on the students' Discord server. Who's managing this thing nowadays?
I don't know. I know Björn was doing that previous,
right.
but
I found a job, right?
Yeah, is he still here?
No.
PMS did it as well.
Yeah, Morten, right?
He's still here, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so. So there's the thing. For communication among students, there's a Discord server managed by students, hence our confidence. And the idea is that all courses, that the internal communication for you guys happens via those Discord servers, so you can, you know, gossip about your lecturers and all that stuff. So we don't see anything. That's cool. And then there's also another one, which is the NTNU related one, which has a course, a particular channel related to rapid prototyping. So that's where we would probably put announcements, where you can also ask questions. But another channel which is probably more visible and more preferable in general is the issues, right? So the idea is there that you guys, for problems that you have, you can raise, of course, issues, but also for announcements we may actually raise issues. So that's hence the point that we want you to sign up for this particular, you know, GitLab project, so you get actually notifications on your email when there's a new issue. Right, and you can just click and follow. So it's basically using normal issue tracker systems that you would know from GitHub, perhaps or not. If you don't know them yet, you will learn them in those courses. Perfect, because that's practice, standard practice in software development anyway. So, and we use them for our communication as well. So the idea is there that we sometimes, for example, announce things. Here, for example, there was an announcement for Nathaniel was the TA in past semester. He was announcing upcoming gems. The idea is then that you just write an issue and you will be notified, and it shows basically what's coming up. And usually we operate based on labels. So every time you raise an issue, most important thing is to set the labels right. So what are you doing? Is it about a game jam? Is it an issue you have? Is it about, you know, missing jams that you have done but they seemingly haven't been registered by us? Or is it an announcement from our side? So if you look at the labels, there's a various ones you can choose: announcements, game jam hackathons, indication of offsite jams, questions related to existing jams, and so on. So try the labels if you raise anything, because it's a lot easier for us to quickly figure out what is your problem about, right? So point is, if you in the system you realize you can't do anything, it means you only have reporter access, you don't have developer access. In this case, you will need to go, I think, to project details, and then you get an option here to say request access. Did anyone try to access the URL? Good.
Yeah,
But you are in already, right? So it looks like different for persons that are not signed up yet, but they should see a button here, request access. And then we get a notification, yeah, so you need to wait for us to tick some buttons. But I think in 2 weeks that's kind of weeded out, hopefully.
by the way, what is the study program name of the game programming course? Because we have to remember with the year we started, our study number and the study program. According to that orange bar, that's extremely important.
Yeah, BPROC probably? BPROC, Bachelor Programming? Per vote on it? I think BPROC will do. Bachelor in Programming, right? Irrespective of your streams, we abolished the stream thing. Cool. Anything else? I forgot.
Not really. If you want to get a head start, download and try and set up OBS, so you don't have to do that when the jam starts.
Good one. That's what we're using for streaming as well. We're streaming this lecture as well to YouTube, so you can watch it again if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Set up OBS and so on. And of course, if you're doing a jam, just set up all the tools you need for that jam, of course, in advance. You don't just come with rent you laptop from Power and try to, hoping you're doing them 48 hours, we're expecting you to have a kind of a full developer setup, hence second year onwards, right? Come on.
When is the first jam?
Don't know yet. We need to decide. We actually just met like 20 minutes ago and kind of, need to figure out our life and
I
stuff.
wanted to do one in the summer, but
Yep.
I made an issue about it, but no one ever answered, so I didn't, because I didn't want to waste 48 hours, and they were like, no, that's not nice.
Yeah, send a mail.
Yeah, that would have been much
Summer is a bit of a how would you phrase that thing. But we probably can plan ahead in terms of another break. If people say, hey, in winter break we want to do the following thing, they can anticipate, okay, during Christmas I want to do a jam, so then we can organize this. We should follow up on this before any meaningful break. That's a good point. Thank you. Good feedback implicitly anyway. Where was I? Setup. Presentation. You will see the format of the presentation in a second. Anything else? We're good. If you have questions, raise an issue. That's the thing, right? So, you guys, your task for now is to actually get access to that course, right? And sign up. So, the other thing is, point is you need to do 3 gems. We don't care when you do those and how long you take for those. Well, the 48 hours, but how long you will take to satisfy and pass all the 3 gems, right? It can well be that you actually do a gem, you don't get really far and need to give up and then need to do another one instead. No big deal. This course is pass and fail. There's no grade attached to it. Yeah? But you need to pass 3 gems. And you have basically the whole degree to do that. So in practice, the whole second year and the whole third year, hence my early invitation. So even if you haven't signed up for the course, even if it's not as part of your outline student web and so on, you can still start doing gems because we'll record them based on the submission system there, and we'll keep track of you until you have done your 3 gems. Then submit it. An important thing is, which I now learned from the student target, don't sign up for the course until you plan to complete the course. Right? So if you want to start gems this semester but you don't plan to complete the course this semester, don't sign up. Just run the gems. And we'll catch it then until you sign up and decide. So in next semester, if you, for example, think, okay, I did 2 gems right now last semester, but of course I didn't pass yet. You want to do the last one in next semester, then sign up for that next semester and you get all the 3 gems. The problem is simply from an administrative point of view, a long-running course of that nature is not considered, right? They don't have this concept of having this continuous course concept, so we need to work around this. And our decision now to how to model it is, you figure out when you do your last gem, and that's the semester where you actually sign up. And then you get a ticket. You can, well, do you plan to finish the semester, this course?
Hopefully I'll have done 2 before, so that I don't have to do 1 with the Bachelor.
Yes, I don't recommend doing jams while you have your Bachelor.
Yeah, so the goal is to do it before as early as possible.
If you can do it by your second year, so you don't have to do it in your third year, that's the best. If you have to do it in your third year, like you're missing 1 in the third year, I'd say do it as early as possible because you'll get a big project in the 5th semester where you'll spend a lot of time working on that and you don't want to break off from that and do a jam in the middle of it. I mean, you can if you want to, but doing it early before that project starts is preferable.
Yeah, that was my goal. Hopefully we will have 1 early now. So right now there are a lot to do, but I bet in 2 weeks there will be lots already.
It doesn't matter that much, then you just do 3 jams and then sign up whenever you're done.
Yeah. The only constraint is that you may not be able to sign up anymore for a course if it's too late in the semester. You may remember there's a certain period during which you can sign up and sign off from courses. That's the constraint. That's the only constraint. I mean, we technically don't care. Even if you, let's say you do all the gems this semester, but you don't manage to sign up on time anymore, just sign up next semester and we pass it there. I mean, it's really an administrative exercise. The point is just, if you sign up now, you don't finish your 3 gems, it looks like as if you have failed that paper once. You can fail it 3 times, but the point is you don't need this administrative fuss around this. So you basically just sign up when you plan to finish the whole course, and then we tick the box, and if it doesn't work out, we do it 1 semester later. But again, do it before your Bachelor. Well, if it's within the 5th or 6th semester and you don't need to do anything anymore, just get it ticked off, that's fine. But you don't want to, you know, have a forceful 7th semester because you forgot to sign up for the course in the 5th or 6th semester, even though you're done, right? So it's a bit of a responsibility on your part to keep track of that as well. But at the end of each semester, I'll send or post an issue with the completed jams, and you should see your name there, or not name, sorry, SAM identifier, and the number of completed jams. Again, you need to pass 3. And if you have 2 passed, you know, okay, next semester I need to wrap 1 up, then I'll be considered as having passed the course. That's the idea. Okay, any final questions regarding this admin talk here? Who still wants to take the course? Okay. Who still wants to take the course even if they wouldn't need to? Who would still want to take the course if they wouldn't need to? Okay, the same kind of crowd, so no one, yeah, okay. So 2/3 don't want to take the course, the rest just has to bear with it. So international students, I forgot to mention you. You are international? Cool. You are signed up for cloud, right? Yeah? And did you sign up for rapid prototyping as well? You sign up for this. So you're a bit of a, yeah, you have a very busy semester, put it this way. No, it's, yeah. You can make this call, of course. But the constraint, in order to get the pass mark from us, you would need to do some three jams. And it's not deadly. People did this before. And I would also recommend look at external jams. Science Lab with HAMA, it's a great opportunity to travel. So you can do, jams elsewhere, get them registered here as well. But we need 3 of them, and then you get there. But we can talk about this more, how we arrange this most conveniently for you. Because of course, technically you want to be able to complete this course in 1 semester. And again, it's possible. I mean, if you really want to force it, you get to finish it within the first month if you spend all your weekends on this course. Right? Cool. So yeah, if you haven't signed up for the course, then I'm sorry, but you learned something about it. Of course, you may not need to take. But if you want to take a jam, for example, you're more than welcome to, or join in the group jam. It's a nice exercise. Also, if you want to learn something, we use it sometimes as an opportunity for skill development. I want to learn about this programming language, and I can't be bothered sitting 48 hours actually doing it. Well, in the jam you may just do it, right? So you take the time to do that. So some people actually have done that in the past and fared quite well as a kind of learning opportunity. So, but sorry for the somewhat odd communication question. What it's called? It doesn't matter. That's right.
Whatever you want to.
It should be information technology. We discourage the use of rock, copper, and other kind of medieval tools. But fundamentally, it's about information technology, right? So the point is, okay, yeah, please.
There's like a board games on it, so that doesn't count?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So we had this in the past, but generally no. We want to boom your IT skills, right? Fundamentally getting out here, what's this thing again? Bachelor of... right, programming, right. So, so we need to have some sort of programming handy skill. But there's no specific tech. If you want to learn web tech, fine. If you want to learn cloud, some programming language for cloud or whatever, Golang or Rust or the like, or if you want to try a functional programming language, if you just want to use a tool, a framework to design an application of your choice, fine as well. If there's a design component, of course, in there, but not exclusively the design component. So we are super flexible on tools. You need to specify them though, and of course you need to have the confidence to come here and present them, right? So yeah, so that's the idea. So basically we're kind of flexible on the tech really, because sometimes we learn as well because people try out new stuff and see what actually works, what doesn't, right? So yeah, that's the idea, right? And again, that's only fair because we're dealing with 2nd year and 3rd year students, right? So we don't want to prescribe anything distinctive because that would kind of put us in one sort of bracket immediately, right? Good question. Thank you. Okay, I think we leave it at this. Any follow-up questions? Good. Before someone has an idea of leaving the room, I'll just stop the stream briefly, and then 2 students will have the opportunity to set up their presentation and actually talk about the jam they did last semester. And you get a feel, or this break rather, and you get a feel how the presentation is done, right? And the questions we ask. And you're of course more than welcome to ask questions. Don't think there are any stupid questions if you are worried about this. We are really open in terms of asking any question. If it's getting too long and too techy, then we ask you to take it offline. But other than that, I think I would encourage you to ask.
One is set that I looked up one.
Yeah, we'll figure it out because I need to change my streaming position anyway. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay.